Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. This is the start of officially one of my Bookmas videos. I'm super excited about Bookmas this year, but I'm also very behind, I feel like, at least compared to last year when I had over half of my videos scheduled before December 1st even hit. It is Thanksgiving, so I'm still a little bit early and hopefully it stays that way. But I am here to do another author taste test. Earlier this year, I think during the summer, I did an author taste test of B. Celeste, who I fell in love with. I met her like 2 weeks after that vlog came out and I was crying pretty much in front of her. It was kind of embarrassing, but also like one of the highlights of my life. And I wanted to do another author taste test for Bookmas. And this is another author that I actually just got to meet a couple of weekends ago as I'm filming this intro. So I am super excited. I'm super nervous because I think I'm probably going to be emotionally destroyed, but I do think it's going to be really good. I have 2 of her books with me to read in this very fun book sleeve that I just got. I've never had a book sleeve before, very random, but I do like the one that I got in a book box a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, I guess. But the author that I will be taste testing for this vlog is Jennifer Hartmann, who is the author of Still Beating and Lotus and a lot of other books, but these are 2 of hers that I have. They are standalones that are kind of interconnected, I believe, and they're from Bloom, and she signed them for me, so I went to read them. I'll insert a picture somewhere on the screen of when I met her because I did get some pictures with her, and she is super sweet. And I told her, I was like, I'm ready to be emotionally wrecked with your books. And she said, good luck, pretty much. So I'm excited, but I'm scared, but like in a good way. So she signed, I'll just show y'all. She signed my copy of Still Beating and she signed my copy of Lotus. And then she also signed a copy of June 1st for me. For any of you Jennifer Hartmann fans, I also have Araya and Coda from her as well from another book box, but I will just be focusing on these 2 for this reading vlog. I plan to start, hopefully, fingers crossed, Still Beating tonight. This is first up on my list of hers. I think there's kind of an order, but kind of not really to her books. And I think like in this universe-ish, Still Beating is first, and then Lotus, and then June 1st. And I saw in an Instagram post that she mentioned it would be helpful to read these 2 books before reading June 1st. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start here and do these ones. But yeah, first up is going to be Still Beating. I'm not sure what it's about, but I've heard it's amazing. I've heard I'm gonna cry. I know that they are captives right now, like in the pretty much the whole book. I think like they are captives, Cora and Dean. They have been kidnapped. I don't know why or how or when or who, but they are trapped together. And I think I'm probably going to be in physical pain while reading this book, but like in a really good way. So this is my plan. I have 10 things of tabs, 4 things of tabs for these 2 books. The blue palette, I hope, kind of goes with them. I don't know if I'll annotate yet. I will decide that tonight when it's time to start the book. I probably will though. So I'll update y'all when I get to 50%. Since I'm reading 2 books for this vlog, I'll do every 50%. Give y'all a better synopsis as well as my current thoughts and emotions regarding the book. But I think I'm gonna love it. I'm scared. I think I'll love it though. And I think it'll be a fun, if not life-changing experience in terms of my emotional stability, but that's already wrecked a lot of times anyway, so it's probably fine. I'll update y'all in a couple of days maybe with my next updates, and we will chat then. All right, y'all, I am officially 50% of the way through Still Beating, and so far I am so enjoying it. I feel like this book is shaping up to be a 5-star read. I'm a little bit nervous, but I think that they have a happy ending. I just feel like at this point, like we're nowhere near that, which makes sense. 100%, and it's very valid, but I'm hoping that soon they start to realize that they love each other after all, you know? It's fine though, it's fine. But to provide a better synopsis, this book is about Cora and Dean. Dean is Cora's sister's fiance, and one night they are kidnapped and held in a man's basement. Very big content warning for rape and sexual assault, attempted murder, gun violence, serial killer things. This is a very heavy book in terms of those elements, but they escape. They're not in captivity for a ton of the book, probably 25% or so, and they eventually make it out. But obviously making it out has some very big repercussions. They are both suffering from trauma and PTSD and are struggling to cope with being back in the world, the outside world, after being held captive for so long and forced to do just awful things, heartbreaking things, things that made me sad and angry to read about. But they definitely have feelings for each other that developed while they were being held in captivity. And so right now we're following both of them as they're juggling like the emotions of what they went through and how to cope and like be back in the world and like back to quote unquote normal life, because like how can life ever be normal after what they went through? So far it's really good. I keep wanting to tear up. I have a ton of tabs in this book so far. The blues do look very stunning. I have also underlined various quotes and just think that overall this book is so beautiful. I have been listening to the audio while I clean and like kind of try to keep my life organized, like physically, like my room clean and things like that. In the midst of final season, I have been reading this book pretty slowly because of that, but my goal is to finish it up this weekend, hopefully. I'm doing some homework right now. I'm reading about some playwrights and final essays before our last class. Anyway, I've been listening to the audiobook while having this open and like flipping pages as I go. So I've been able to get tabs pretty much everywhere that I want them. And I have been able to underline a bunch, which is good. But so far, again, I'm loving it. I do think that this could end up being a 2023 favorite, which I don't have a ton of this year. Surprisingly, I feel like I've read a ton of really good books, but none of them have like quite made it to the favorites shelf on Goodreads. But I think this one has the potential to maybe be. My heart just hurts every time I start reading, but that's a good thing in my opinion because I do like crying in books. So that's my 50% update. I'll hop back in here hopefully Monday afternoon with my final update for this book so I can hopefully start Lotus amidst my last 7 days before my final exams start. I think it'll be fine, but I'll hop back in here in a couple of days hopefully, and maybe I will cry before then. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll try to get some b-roll of me finishing up the book if I have a feeling it's going to get very emotional, but we will see. I will talk to you all later though. I finished Still Beating last night on Sunday, which was my goal for the weekend. And here are my tabbies. They look so pretty. And I'm very excited to say that I gave this book 5 stars. I was truly and utterly obsessed with it and so invested in the characters and what they went through and watching them heal from that. It was all just wonderful. It was amazing. I knew that I was gonna cry or tear up at some points, and I did. Like I was like blubbering a little bit last night, but I made it. Everything was fine in the end. Everything was amazing in the end. And I am so happy to have finally read this book after hearing about it for years on Bookstagram and Booktube. This book was just re-released by Bloom this year, but it has been out for, I wanna say 4 or 5 years, and I loved it. So I'm glad to have wrapped this up, and I'm even more excited now to read Lotus because it does follow somebody who was briefly mentioned in this book. And so I can't wait. So last night I went ahead and got, whoops, and got this one ready to read. So I got the tab chart ready to go. And I just think it's gonna be so good. The character that we follow here is briefly mentioned in a newspaper article in Still Beating. So I'm like kind of thinking we might end up seeing some like characters brought up in this story as well, like characters from Still Beating brought up in Lotus, but I guess we'll see. But this one follows Oliver and Sydney, who I guess were best friends, but Oliver disappeared 22 years ago and has just now been found. So I'm scared. I'm guessing it's gonna be best friends to lovers, but I'm like so scared. I'm scared that my heart's going to get broken. Like, it's already cracked from reading Still Beating, and I think that Lotus is gonna crack it just a little bit more. There's a third book out in this universe called something about stars, not in this, some lost in the, I'm gonna look it up because I already ordered it. It'll be here in 2 days. I'm not gonna read it for this vlog, but there's another book in this universe that features characters who are introduced in this book, and I just know that their story is going to break me even more. This story, so the third book is called The Stars Are on Our Side, and it follows another character who has been in a similar situation as the characters in these books, and I think that one's gonna like break me, but I think this one might like crack my heart just a little bit more, but I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. Don't know when I'll start this one, hopefully this week at some point. I do have 7 days left until finals, so it's kind of crunch time for school, but I feel like I'm in a pretty good place overall, so hopefully I will at least be able to start this book. I think I can get the audiobook for it, fingers crossed, but I will update y'all whenever I get to 50% in it, and I'll give y'all their synopsis and of course my general thoughts. I have been kind of feeling slumpy over the past couple of days, but after tomorrow, school will be done for the semester. So I think I'm gonna be able to get back into things, but I took today off work to kind of just be productive and get ready for finals, and I ended up wrapping all that up a little bit ago, and I'm feeling pretty good. But I was able to sit down for like the first time in a minute and get a big chunk of Lotus read while I kind of cleaned up my room a little bit and like got ready for finals, like did my hair and things like that. So I am halfway-ish through, close enough, we're gonna call it. And I am enjoying this book so much. It's so sweet. I like want to cry every time Oliver and Sydney interact with each other. But this book is about Oliver, who is very briefly mentioned in Still Beating, which I read the first book for this vlog, and he was held captive for 22 years and nobody ever found him until one day he escaped. And we really don't know all the answers yet about why he was captured or who really like captured him. We know his name, but we don't really understand any motives behind why he was kidnapped. But he's living next door again with his stepbrother, who they both live next to Sydney, who is Oliver's childhood best friend. He kind of remembers her, but doesn't have a lot of memories of the two of them together. But Sydney has been looking for him on and off for the past 22 years, and so him being back has definitely changed everything for both of them. Oliver is so cute. It's so evident that he has gone through something traumatic, of course, and his interactions with people are very different because he didn't have any of that for 22 years. Like, all of those formative moments of his life have been wiped out because he spent them all trapped in a basement for unknown reasons. So the way that he interacts with people is very like cute. It's very innocent, and I can like see him like starting to like get out of his shell a little bit the more that he is around people and kind of like tries to dive back into quote unquote normal life. He just got a job at the library, which I think is so cute. He and Sydney are getting closer as friends. He is so obviously in love with her, and she is so evidently in like with him, probably in love with him too, but she is trying to just keep them as friends for right now because she knows that he has gone through just so much in life, and she doesn't want to like put something else onto him that he might not be ready for. But Oliver is 100% head over heels in love with Sydney already, and I am here for it. I am finding so many good quotes and like sad moments that just kind of like ding my heart a little bit, like in a good way. I'm hoping to get this one finished up by Friday. It's Monday, but I want to start another vlog this weekend. So the goal, I guess, is to get this one done by Thursday night actually. So in 3 days, 4 days, 3 days. But once school is over tomorrow night, that should be not hard to do. So hopefully I'll be back here in a couple of days with my final update for this book. But until then, let's pray that I don't keep crying or like start crying like I do with Still Beating, but also I kind of would not complain if I did. So I'll hop back in here whenever I finish the book. Last night I sat down and I finished Lotus. School is over for the semester, thank goodness, and I've finally been able to get a chance to sit down and read again. And I pretty much binged a majority of this book during the last 2 evenings before today, and I really enjoyed it. I do still think that I liked Still Beating better, but I am giving Lotus 4 stars. These books are like wonderful. They're hard to read, but like the growth, the healing that happens in them, I'm just obsessed. There is some crossover in these books between some of the characters, which I love to see, and I actually ended up getting the next book kind of like in this set of books between 2 other characters who are mentioned in these ones, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be in more physical pain when I read that one than I already am having read these 2. But I think it's safe to say that Jennifer Hartmann is an author that I'll keep reading and buying. She definitely has me hooked on her books after these 2, and I've got Araya and Coda on my shelf by her over here, as well as 2 more books by her that I got in special edition boxes. So I've got a lot to continue reading from her. I'm not going to stop here at these 2 because I just had so much fun with them. 5 stars to Still Beating, 4 stars to Lotus. Truly just like emotional stories that are going to impact me for a long time now. But as per usual, I'll have content warnings in the description down below. Again, like Chef's Kiss, wonderful. Definitely going to have to read more and soon, because I'll probably want to keep crying over her books, and I can't complain about that. But that is a wrap to this reading vlog. So excited to have finally read some books from Jennifer Hartmann after meeting her last month. Truly an unforgettable experience, and I can't wait to keep reading other stuff by her. But that's all that I have for this reading vlog. If you want to see me do a taste test for any other authors, feel free to comment down below and let me know. But for now, that is all that I have. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.